Here we have the Peperomia Red Ripple. There are a lot of these ripply corrugated peperomia, and this care video is going to go for all of them. The main thing I like about peperomia is they never really kick up a fuss. They're one of the few plants that we have ever personally taken care of to where they just never really have any problems. They don't get very large, so they're not going to grow out of your space. It's just an easygoing, interesting little house plant. As always, let's start off with light first. These are going to be best in a bright light scenario. They're not like a succulent or a ficus that need to be right in a big south-facing window or west-facing window, but they do need to see a nice wide view of the sky. If you're going to have it in a really hot window, say a south or a west-facing window, back it up a little bit, a foot or two. Still making sure that it's looking out at a wide view of the sky, unobstructed blue sky, but just avoiding the leaf burn from a really hot window. As far as watering goes, these guys are quite forgiving, because they do store a little bit of water in their leaves. If you go a little bit too long, if you let them dry out too much, they will start to wilt a little bit, and that's a good indication that you need to water. However, we never like to wait until they get that far along. During the spring and summer months, we'll water them when they're about 25% dry. This is their growing season, so they're going to go through water a little bit quicker since we have longer days and the sun is typically shining a lot more during the spring and summer months. During the winter months, they're going to go dormant. You're going to see very little new growth. You might not see any new growth at all. During that period, we let them dry out 50 to 75% in between watering. However, if you let them go completely dry, it's really not going to be a big deal anyway. Like I said, these are very forgiving plants. It's important to remember that no matter what time of the year we're in, spring or summer months, fall or winter months, dormancy, growth period, every time the plant is ready to be watered, we want to do a full soak. So your goal is to saturate all the soil that's in the pot. We like to repot these when the roots are coming out of the bottom drainage holes, or every 2 years. If you repot every 2 years, that's just to refresh the medium, the soil. But usually the roots coming out of the bottom drainage system are going to happen first. I like to use 3 parts cactus soil mixed in with 1 part houseplant soil. They do like quite a heavy, sharp draining material. As far as fertilizing goes, we fertilize with a general purpose fertilizer throughout the spring and the summer months. We try not to fertilize these guys during the winter months when they're not actively growing to avoid leaf burn from fertilizer. They do have some pretty funky blooms, little rat tails we call them, and I just like to pinch them off whenever I see them. They're not a particularly pretty flower or pretty bloom. It is nice to know that you're doing the right thing. You're caring for it properly so that it can bloom. But since they're not that pretty, we like to cut them off and redirect that energy toward making the nice new leaves. But that's going to do it for the care instructions for the Peperomia Red Ripple. A really easygoing, colorful little houseplant.